Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of the video is It's One Big Club and They're All in It. Right. Ultimately, what the people, of the world are starting to realize is that it's all, one group of people running the earth. And basically, there's no Democratic or Republican Party. There are elite running the world. You have people like Russia. Russia's asking, America, right? Donald Trump asking Donald Trump things like who's actually in charge? Who's going to run your board of peace that you're putting out? And that's because the world is realizing that it's not America itself pulling the strings, right? There's no Democratic or Republican Party. We can all see that on a small scale, these Amalekites over in the land of Israel, right, that are pretending to be the Israelites in the Bible are running America, right? The cabinet of Donald J. Trump is filled, filled with these Zionist elites, low-level elites, right? That's why they're able to see their face. But ultimately, it goes all the way up to the top, the banking families, right, which are also Amalekites, which are the same JWOs, right, in the land of Israel. The only difference is that they're on a much higher level, and they're not seen, right? They're behind the lines. But you know, the time has come where shameful spewing is being put on the devil's glory, and they're being exposed in a major way to the point where even the tippity top is being mentioned in these last days. Um, Recently, Donald Trump took over Venezuela, and you had a Rothschild came out and told Donald Trump, "Job well done." And now that I'm thinking about it right now, what I'm about to get into is the fact that the whole Ukraine situation. Someone told the Rothschilds that they should invest in, basically conquering Ukraine, and that has spoiled. So it's an investment loss, which to them crumbs, you know, but nonetheless, they lost because Ukraine isn't conquered and Russia is winning the war. So maybe that's why this guy came out so boldly to say job well done, because America was actually able to do something that I guess NATO and EU could not do, right? Anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought because that was a new thought, that situation right there. So I just brought it out. But this is Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? See, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And what you understand is basically history, right? You coming down from the Roman Empire, right? The Roman Empire fell, right? During that time, the Israelites ruled after the fall of the Roman Empire. And when they ruled, it was called the Byzantine Empire. Esau, the Edomites called it the Dark Ages. And then from that, the plague, the dark plague, whatever, black plague came in, and we fell. Esau came back in there, you know, and that what came forth out of that is America, right? I'm going into that in this lesson today too. And they run and rule the world, but the top of that is the banking elites. If you go back to when these different things were set up, going back to the 1400s and whatnot, with the financial area, these Amalekites, they took control of that part of the world, as in the money system, and they did these banks all over the world and whatnot, and we're here today. So they're the ones running the world, right? And at the same time, when they was taking over, they covered the judges and the faces of us, the people who's actually going to run and rule the world in the near future, because they were only allowed to be loosed for a little season, all right, to operate here on planet Earth. So we'll get all of that in this lesson. Let me go over here a little bit. This is Revelations 20:1. So you say bound. So this is when the fall of the Roman Empire happened. Revelations 21, it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. That bottomless pit is talking about the earth, because at the time, the known world was that area over there, right? That continent of the world, that side of the world, right? It says, and that's what he was ruling out of, the Roman Empire. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. Now, Satan and the devil, deceiver and adversary, that is who the wicked, are on planet Earth, right? They lie about what the truth is, right? They covered the faces of the judges, and in a big way, they covered the faces of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? First and foremost, they made you believe that there's some Edomite looking individuals, and that's not the case. That's not how the scriptures describe them. All right, and that's why he's the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? And that's why currently the Israelites are not ruling. Anyway, Revelation 20:2, it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up. So bound up, right? And set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Now, if you go into history, you know, and you want to, kind of fact check this prophecy here, uh, roughly from the fall of the Roman Empire, you know, to to the fall of the Byzantine Empire, you know, is when this took place. Basically, we started ruling around 96, right, up into the 1400s, basically, when Cristobal Colon said he found America, right? So so he was set down for 1,000 years. So Revelation 20:3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed for a little season, right? And we're gonna get Daniel, and all of that going into a little bit, because that little season is now, and we're at the end of that little season. When he's going to be destroyed, because they're about to go to war. See, we get right here, Satan freed and doomed. Revelation 27, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are on the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, which is Russia, from the land of Russia, basically. He said, to gather them together to battle, the member of whom is at the center of the sea. And even now, currently in the news, Donald Trump is now mentioning China and Russia when he talks about Iran. When he talks about, what are the outcomes or the possibilities, or different things like that. He's now mentioning China and Iran, Russia and China, along with Iran. Pursuant to Ezekiel 38, these forces will be joined with Russia, to attack America. All right. It says, so to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, because pursuant to Revelations 11 and 14, this will be the third woe, right, which is World War III. And in the news now, everyone's talking about World War III. All right. Revelation 29, and they went up on the breadth of the earth, and can pass the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from Yahweh out of heaven and devoured them. And ultimately, as we can see in these last days, Jacob's trouble, the enemy coming in like a flood, right? Them thinking they're about to fill their belly and accomplish their goals, right? The Most High Yahweh Bashem Shai is about to stop them, ultimately. But and they took us over, obviously, as a people, and hemmed us up into slavery and things like that, and we're still in slavery, right? Just able to wiggle around a little bit. Says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. This lake of fire and brimstone is the nuclear the aftermath of the nuclear destruction, right? Because everything will be burning up once those missiles hit. Pursuant to Joel chapter 2, it tells you that the land before them is as the Garden of Eden, and after them a desolate wilderness, right? A waste, roughly paraphrasing scriptures. So that's the lake of fire. Revelation 20:10 it says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, the beast is the whole system that America has, ultimately America, right? The false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church, right? And it's not going to be forever and ever. Ultimately, pursuant to like Isaiah 13, you're going to have desert creatures and things dwelling here in America once the fire dies down. All right. So I want to I gave you that point where it was that little season. Ultimately, so the wicked is ruling. So we're gonna get back to that. All right. Here's this video. But first, let me grab this. Get Isaiah 47. We'll get it NLT. It says Isaiah 47:1, come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, sit in the dust, for your days of sitting on your throne have ended, O daughter of Babylonia. Never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Take heavy millstones and grind flour, remove your veil and strip off your robe, expose yourself to public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Our Redeemer, whose name is the Lord Yahweh, Bashmel Shah of Heaven's army, is the Holy One of Israel. All right, so these devils are being exposed. And these Amalekites have used America greatly, because this is their military power and might over the world. All right. And they're being exposed. And they're heavily tied to America. Right. So this Epstein situation is exposing them because they're all mentioned, in these scriptures. I got this video from Elder Apostle Tahar, right? And you should check this video out. Just to get that shameful feeling on their glory, to have that in your mind, to know that these devils are being exposed and they are going down. I'm gonna put this part right here.
Jeffrey Epstein's bank account was called Baal, the ancient Canaanite deity which people would sacrifice their children to. A victim's diary shows that she was impregnated multiple times and forced to give birth for Ghislaine and Epstein. Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says, no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
All right. So as you can see, Jeffrey Epstein is in communication with the Rothschild family, and they only deal with Jewish, right, people, Jewish people. And so all of these devils are Jewish people, right? The Rothschilds, all of that. Israel, the Tel Aviv, the Vision, Netanyahu, not a Jew, right? All these people are together. And you notice that he was talking about, taking over Ukraine at that point. And my point is, this was happening, way before, basically before Donald Trump with the Democratic Party that of Joe Biden. This Revelations 13 and 11, right? It says, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now, this beast is talking about America and America's whole system. All right. And it said it had two horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. Now, this is modeled after the Roman Empire. America is modeled after the Roman Empire. All right. You get it from Revelation 13:3 says, and I saw one of his heads as he were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. Right? That deadly wound was the Roman Empire falling, and it was healed because America came up out of that. It says, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, right? Which is the Roman Empire, and they worshiped the Roman Empire by worshiping America, because America is modeled after the Roman Empire. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make a war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was him unto uh, given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Roughly, I think if I got that actually, shall write it down. Right, yeah, during a 50-year period. All right, that's that 40 and 2 months. All right. Yeah, so during a 50-year period, says, and he opens his mouth and blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that go in heaven. So the angels, the Israelites, and Yahweh watching out without himself, right? That's what this devil is doing. All right. Says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindred and tongues and nations. So this is what happened when the Roman Empire came back as America, right? The Israelites went into slavery, right? He made war with the saints and overcome them. That was the slavery. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And America is ruling over the whole earth. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Right? Yeah, so the elect are in the book of life, right? The prophets are in the book of life, and we're willing, I'm of that number, right? And that's why we do the things that we do, like teach and speak this word, right? Proclaim boldly was written here. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth from captivity shall go into captivity. Who led who into captivity? The wicked came back through the revised Roman Empire and made war with the saints and overcame them and put those saints into captivity. And now your president, Nero 47, is desperately trying to hide all evidence of that as they feel the walls closing in, because these top elite banking class people are saying the real problem is that of the individuals, the Black African Americans in America, and really talking about the prophets, because the prophets are speaking the truth, right? And their whole thing is built on lies, right? Uh, Here, this quick. What is it? Is it I think it's Michael 5. Yeah, okay. Nahum 3. Okay. Nahum 3 and 1, it says, woe to the bloody city, right? That great city, America, right? So much death has happened here. The bloods of the saints. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of the whip and noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. All right. Who's the prey? We're the prey. You got this NLT. Nahum 3 and 1 NLT. What sorrow awaits Nineveh, the city of murder and lies? She is crammed with woe and is never without victims. Hear the crack of whips, the rumble of wheels, horses, hooves pound, and chariots clatter wildly. Yeah, and we're with this list here, we're seeing a whole bunch of victims pop out, right? All type of stuff is in those files regarding death. Okay. So Revelation 13:9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. So we're just waiting. Now the point that I wanted to get in Revelation 13:11 says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now these two horns is the Democratic and Republican Party, right? But ultimately, that was never meant to do anything, right? It's just there. That's why it says, and he spake as a dragon. And the dragon goes into draconian measures, right? Different laws and decrees and things like that that they have been constantly passing bill after bill after bill, because everything that they have ever done led us to here. You still struggling with college, right? Ain't nothing getting better. You still going to wars, right? You still paying for healthcare. Now they're taking away your healthcare. Nothing has been accomplished in America. I don't know. Nothing has been accomplished in America. What great achievement have that has taken place besides the agenda of the wicked elite? Which is they already listed what it was: Afghanistan, Syria, Iran was one of them. Iraq. These great wars, 9/11. CVID. That changed the whole world too. These different things to just push them towards what, and ultimately, is to deceive him, right? That's where they're going with their plan. It says, I want to grab this precept because Psalm 55 and 20, it says, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smooth and butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softened oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? And that's because, let me get some of this stuff over here. Job is, okay. Because, they got an agenda and a plan. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and their righteousness which they have prescribed. The man just said that going, basically taking over Ukraine will be beneficial to these devils, right? So that was something they premeditated on before they actually did it. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and their righteousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, that they may rob the fatherless. Right. So they come with a lot of, different things to, rob people, take away things and make it grievous, right? Which is difficult. This is hard thing, grievous. So yeah, the point that they wanted ultimately would be the micro hit, right? Which we all know, Revelations 13 and 16, it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the name of his name, right? Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the name of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right? And that represents the devil and his mark, right? Which would be a digital physical device that they will implant into your body, All right, and this is something that you should not take. Right, you're not supposed to take this. All right, you will die. Um, so let me grab some of the Daniel real quick because we read this Daniel 8:25. It says, "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand." They go into the Great War because during World War III, Yahweh Shai is going to pull up. All right, and they think they're going to try to fight him, and they're going to lose. Right, and even now, they're striving against Yahweh watching Yahweh Shai in many ways. Trying to protect themselves, trying to offset poverty, right, trying to do away with his people, all these different things, and they're losing badly. Okay, this is what is this? Daniel 7. All right, Daniel 7:7. After this, I saw night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, right? Fourth beast, which goes into you get Daniel 2, the beast that should, reign on earth. The last will be the Roman Empire, right? It says, and after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 arms. Now it's diverse because it ruled how every kingdom before it ruled, with a king, and then the king would pass the crown down to maybe a son or the case may be, but what the Roman Empire ruled through a senate, group of motherfuckers sitting around talking about how they should run shit. And the true and real senate is these Amalekites that's running the world. All right, now in these days, these 10 horns of the vassal states, says I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. This little horn is America, right? From the Roman Empire came a little horn, which is America, said before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. This goes into the Revolutionary Wars because America had to go through the Revolutionary War, defeat, the British Empire, become the 13 colonies, and ultimately become the United States of America. Right, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and the mouth speaking great things. I just gave that to you in Revelation 13. He's speaking great things against the Howell Bashmal Shai. And this devil has great plans, right? And they're all connected, right? Again, back to his title, one big party, and they're all in it, right? So let me grab some of these videos over here. Now, this is Trump saying that this is not my war, it's Biden war. And this just points to the fact that this has always been the plan. And did Trump back out of the Ukraine situation? He tried to eat. Russia right now is, if you look on YouTube and things like that, different individuals, all the vehicles that Russia is destroying over there, and the planes and whatnot, is all American, equipment being shipped over there to Ukraine. All right. So this is Trump saying, this is not my war, it's Biden's war, but he didn't back out of the war. All right, he's still fighting. He's trying to fight him because this is their plan. Just like that video showed you with them trying to take over Ukraine. As a matter of fact, let's listen to it one more time real quick.
To give birth for Ghislaine and Epstein. Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunity. The Rothschild family, Epstein says if they over
All right. It says, and let's discuss Ukraine. So they in communication. They only speak to themselves, right? That's what he was saying. Oh, you're not Jewish, you're not Jewish, so you can't talk to me, right? So there's Donald Trump.
Hello, everybody. What a group of good friends. We're going to bring this place back. It's not so good. I will tell you. I thought it was going to be this beautiful. I hadn't been there in a
I think this is the ballroom that he destroyed.
while. I said, this is going to be beautiful. It's not looking too good, but we're going to bring it back. Why don't we sit down, tell you about our day? Should I tell you about the day first? My little conversation with a nice gentleman named Vladimir Putin. But we had, actually, we had a good talk. And I think that progress is being made. 5,000 young soldiers are being killed every single week on average. Can you believe 5,000? And it's actually a number probably worse than that, in addition to other people that are being killed in towns. And we're trying to stop it. It's a bloodbath. It's an absolute bloodbath. I've seen satellite pictures that are so bad, so horrible. And it's to think that in this day and age, we're living with this horrible thing that's going on, and we're doing the best we can. This was not our war. This was not me. We're doing something from the last administration, how they allowed that to happen. It wouldn't have happened. It would have never happened. And you know, the Ukraine-Russia wouldn't have happened. But
And what he said before is that Russia wouldn't have went into Ukraine. You know, not that they wouldn't have taken over Ukraine, were the case. You know, basically that Russia would not have went in there, or he could have stopped Russia from continuing their military operation, whatever the case may be.
I'll tell you what else wouldn't have had. October 7th would not have happened. This was a terrible thing also. A lot of bad things happened in the last 4 years, but good things are happening now. We had a tremendous visit in the middle.
Man just said a lot of, you know, ever since that Jew jab, things is just downhill for these devils, and that's good. Call Allah Yahweh, watch me, I was shot. All right, so we got this next video, the last video, and this is just, you know, them trying to, you know, comprehend what the hell is going on with, you know, the left and right and all that. And you can see that, like, they, you know, they're starting to see. And ultimately what's going to happen too is that as this list, you know, the different names, you know, start to come out more and more, they're going to see that it's just one big party and they're all in it. All right.
Like, after that, I don't want to hear from anybody else about terror ever again. What is going on?
I mean, the thing is, you know, our show sort of got going during the Biden administration, and that was so comical that we thought, well, you know, can't do any worse. And so we aligned ourselves. Yeah. And so I think that the American right really sees Redacted as a right-wing show. And
you're right, quick. That's what they keep talking about. They're talking about, you know, the midterms, and we're going to take you out of office, and we're going to put this person there, we're going to put that person in there. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. It don't matter who you put in the seat. These Rothschild said, I care not. Give me control of the nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws. And they already own all the money, you know, so they don't care.
And then the Trump administration, part 2 got started, and we have more war than ever. We have more debt. We have, you know, sort of these distractions around ICE raids and things like that, which I don't think are actually the agenda of the powerful. And so then people are confused, like, wait, are we right or left? We're neither, really. And that is a weird place because
that's where you're supposed to be.
Let me grab this. They don't know what the hell is going on, you know? Isaiah 60:1, it says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shai is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shai shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. These devils don't know what the hell is going on. She's totally confused. She don't know. She says she feel weird. I don't know if I'm right or left. It's a weird feeling, you know?
Unless you're stupid, listen, unless you're stupid or you're in on it, you should not be on right or left. Now, the majority of people are cows, so that's why they're, and when I watch, this is why Ben Shapiro, I find like one of the most despicable people I've ever seen on anything. Right after, when the JFK stuff, remember when he was like, don't worry about JFK, so we know for sure Israel's involved?
Yeah.
That's how we know Israel's involved. I'd never even thought that until I watched him say, get over it. Oh, Ben, should we get over things that happened a long time ago? No, you don't say. Anyway, he goes, he goes, this launch, he goes, conspiracies, that used to be the left, but it wasn't in the right. And the right needs to move away from conspiracies and the left. So that is get back in your pen, all the livestock back into your pens where you belong. And anybody trying to, on Jimmy, we covered when Rogan said, because Rogan gets attacked all the time. He doesn't care. But Jimmy will get upset when he sees, like, because Rogan goes, everybody gets to get past left and right. He said that on one of his, and you can tell who's no good by who was against that.
Yeah.
So that ain't it, pal. All the morons on Twitter that are, I don't know, getting clip house bounties. That ain't it, pal. Screw the midterms. I don't understand how anybody could worry about that after this Epstein thing. Your governor traffics kids on behalf of Pax Judaica. That's literally a term. It's gonna get real weird, man. And that Greenland thing's part of it, and the Venezuela thing is All
right, so he's about to say something that I don't agree with, but I'll just let it play because I want to go to like the 7-minute mark. So,
all right, I'm getting off on a tangent, but Professor Jang, have you had him yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, on my show, he made this prediction. It's not my prediction, it's his prediction. It sounds weird, but then I was like, oh, maybe. He said he thinks that Maduro is a CIA asset the whole time from the previous administration. And Trump's blowing, and he's in on being kidnapped because they took him and his wife. I realized when I think about it, they took them both.
Yeah.
And
I think he might be close to something, but I know the Maduro guy was talking about Israel, kind of like CK was talking about Israel, and we see what happened to him. But he was saying that they're not the actual Jews, which is the truth, right? So for him to be a CIA agent, that means he might be like a whistleblower, because he's spilling the beans on, just like when they say they're saying the quiet part out loud, that's what he did, so that's why I don't believe that part.
So Trump's disrupting whatever that old op was, and this guy's going to testify when they put him on trial that the DNC and the CIA and whoever else had Venezuela rig the 2020 election in some way, bringing in migrants. Now, sounds far-fetched, except I remember them saying among the nonsense fentanyl and nonsense cocaine charges and all the other nonsense, and they probably rigged the 2020 election. I was like,
right.
Wait, what? Where's this coming from? I never heard that Venezuela rigs our election, but I bet it's with something with flooding the immigrants in,
Yeah, that does make sense. My experience is that I was left-wing. And then when I started this show and had to do all the research for myself because I was no longer in the mainstream media,
research?
I began to detest the American left. I felt more comfortable among the right. Now I do see that the right, a large faction of them, are willing to criticize the Trump administration in the way the left will not do for their leaders. So I find that progress. But on war and government expansion, the two things that hurt American the most, they are aligned. They are the same. And so if you're playing this, like, I care about welfare, I care about abortion, you're a tool. You're a useful idiot. And that's my experience. What's yours?
Yeah, well, exactly what he said. I mean, Jimmy says it all the time. It's a good quote. Whoever you vote for, you get John McCain.
Yeah, that feels like it.
But I mean, when did you go from Jehovah to a leftist, though? That's the transition. How did you become a leftist? Do you think
that that's not normal? Okay, I guess because.
No. All right, so as you can see, they're talking about left, right, the transition, this, that, and the third. This is Luke 21. That'll be that. Here we go. The return of Yahushua. This is Luke 21:25. Let me see this in the NLT. It says Luke 21:25 NLT. The return of Yahushua. It says, and there will be strange signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. You have your red moons, your blood moons, filthy eclipse, right? And here on earth, the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and the strange tides. Right, perplexity of the people, just confused, Let me see if we got it over here. Perplexity, KJV. Okay. All right, bear with me. Says inability to deal with or understand something complicated or unacceptable. All right. So that's the state these people are in, and you can clearly see that. Luke 21:25, and there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and here on earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and the strange tides. People will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in heaven will be shaken, and everyone will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory. So when all these things begin to happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near. Right? Yahushua will come with a chariot, nuclear missiles will be shot and shake the planet Earth, right? And Lord willing, you were edified from the lesson. Shalom to the whole which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.